Welcome to this training brought to you by the North San Diego County Realtors, where we take real-world case interpretations published by the National Association of Realtors and turn them into practical learning moments that reinforce the Realtor Code of Ethics in action. Today's focus, Realtors Selling to One Another, from Case Interpretation 1-20 under Article 1 of the Realtor Code of Ethics. Article 1 requires realtors to protect and promote the interest of their clients, but also to treat all parties honestly. Importantly, this duty doesn't disappear when realtors are dealing with each other as buyers and sellers. The ethical standards apply to any real estate transaction in which a realtor is a participant, even if they're acting as a principal. That ethical obligation to disclose known defects, to be honest in all dealings, and to act in good faith applies no matter who the party is, even if they're also a realtor.
Realtor A owned a home which he listed through his own brokerage firm. The property listing was filed with the multiple listing service of the board. Realtor B called Realtor A and told him of his interest in purchasing the home for himself. Realtor A suggested a meeting to discuss the matter. The two agreed upon terms and conditions, and the property was sold by Realtor A to Realtor B. A few months later, during hard rains, leakage of the roof occurred with resultant water damage to the interior ceilings and sidewalls. Realtor B had a roofing contractor inspect the roof. The roofing contractor advised Realtor B that the roof was defective and advised that only a new roof would prevent future water damage. Realtor B then contacted Realtor A and requested that he pay for the new roof. Realtor A refused, stating that Realtor B had had a full opportunity to look at and inspect it. Realtor B had then charged Realtor A with violation of Articles 1 and 2 of the Code of Ethics by not having disclosed that the roof had defects known to Realtor A prior to the time the purchase agreement was executed. At a subsequent hearing, Realtor B outlined his complaint and told the hearing panel that at no time during the inspection of the property or during the negotiations which followed did Realtor A disclose any defect in the roof. Realtor B acknowledged that he had walked around the property and had looked at the roof. He had commented to Realtor A that the roof looked reasonably good, and Realtor A had made no comment. The roofing contractor Realtor B had employed after the leak occurred told him that there was a basic defect in the way the shingles were laid in the cap of the roof, and in the way the metal flashings on the roof had been installed. It was a roofing contractor's opinion that the home's former occupant could not have been unaware of the defective roof, or the leakage that would occur during hard rains. Realtor A told the panel he was participating only to prove that he was not subject to the Code of Ethics while acting as a principal as compared with his acts as an agent on behalf of others. He pointed out that he owned the property and was a principal, and that Realtor B had purchased the property for himself as a principal. The panel concluded that the facts showed clearly that Realtor A, the seller, did have knowledge that the roof was defective and had not disclosed it to Realtor B, the buyer. Even though a realtor is the owner of a property, when he undertakes to sell that property, he accepts the same obligation to properly represent its condition to members of the public, including realtors who are purchasers in their own name, as he would have if he were acting as the agent of a seller. The panel concluded that Realtor A was in violation of Articles 1 and 2 of the Code.
Realtor A owned a home and listed it through his own brokerage. Realtor B saw the listing and approached Realtor A, expressing interest in buying the property personally. They agreed on terms and the sale closed. A few months later, after heavy rains, Realtor B discovered significant leakage and damage due to a defective roof. A roofing contractor told Realtor B the issue stemmed from a long-standing flaw, something the previous owner likely would have known. Realtor B filed an ethics complaint alleging that Realtor A failed to disclose the defect, but Realtor A argued he wasn't acting as a realtor, he was a private seller, and Realtor B was a private buyer, so did the Code of Ethics still apply? During the hearing, Realtor B explained that Realtor A never mentioned any issues with the roof, even after Realtor B commented that it looked in good shape. Realtor B only learned about the defect after significant water damage occurred and after his roofer said it was likely known by the previous owner. Realtor A argued that he was not bound by the Code of Ethics because both parties were acting as private individuals, not as agents. But the panel focused on a crucial point. Just because a realtor is selling their own property doesn't mean they're exempt from ethical obligations, especially when dealing with another realtor. The hearing panel determined that Realtor A had violated both Article 1 and Article 2. Even though Realtor A was selling his own property, he still had a duty to treat all parties honestly and disclose known material defects especially to another realtor. The panel emphasized that the ethical obligation to be truthful and transparent applies regardless of whether you're the listing agent or the property owner. In this case, failing to disclose the roof's condition breached that duty. This case makes one thing clear: there's no off-duty switch when it comes to ethics. Realtors must disclose known defects, act in good faith, and treat everyone honestly, even if they're selling their own property or working with another realtor as a buyer. Ethical duties apply no matter the hat you're wearing in the transaction. Let's reflect on this situation. If you were Realtor A, how could you have communicated the roof's condition more transparently, even if it wasn't visible? Would a seller disclosure or home inspection have helped avoid future complaints? If you were Realtor B, what extra steps might you take when purchasing a colleague's property? These questions remind us that professionalism isn't just for the public, it's how realtors treat each other too. And when realtors transact with one another, it's fair to ask, should the expectations be even higher? Trust between professionals is essential to upholding the reputation of the industry. This case also highlights the value of clear documentation. Disclosures, especially when selling your own property, aren't just formalities. They're safeguards that protect everyone involved from misunderstandings and ethical missteps. Thanks for joining us for this short case interpretation review. Stay sharp, stay ethical, and remember, your professional reputation is built on the choices you make, even when you're not representing a client. For more real-world training and resources, visit www.youtube.com/@NSDC Realtors.